Launch a program called the Self-Tape Society. I launched it some months ago, but I messed up the launch, something rotten, and I got over busy with other stuff. So it fell to pieces, nothing happened, and I cancelled it. But I'm now relaunching it, and I'm a bit more on top of it. But it launches tomorrow, and I'm quite excited, but I've got a lot to do before then. So much so, I almost forgot that I'm supposed to bibliomancy every morning. I committed myself to 30 days of online bibliomancy, and maybe we'll see if it works, but 365 days of personal bibliomancy. Bibliomancy, I get a book from my bookshelf and find a random sentence from it and see what it tells me about me. It tells me nothing about the book. You can't tell anything about a book from a single sentence, really, any more than you can tell something about somebody's life just from hearing a couple of rumors about them. Osho talks about that, actually. He says having an opinion about somebody you've heard something about is like walking in through one door of a cinema, walking across and leaving by the other door, and you get a glimpse of the film, and you think you know everything about the film because you got a 2-second glimpse, 5-second glimpse of it. Anyway, I'm diverging because I'm overexcited today. Today I picked a book up. The great thing about this bibliomancy is it's reminded me of all these books that I've got. I've got thousands of them, and I forget what I've got. Today I picked up this great big thing, Visions of Jazz by Gary Giddins, which I've never read in its entirety, but I have dipped in and out of in different chapters dedicated to different people and so on, and I've dipped in and out. And there's a program in it for a show I saw years ago. How exciting life is sometimes when you delve into the unexpected. Anyway, I'm going to find a sentence. And this sentence is going to be, where are we? We're on page 103. I often flick to about a page 100 and something, 110, 100, whatever. It's a natural flicking distance. It's a chapter on Duke Ellington. Yet, in transcending boundaries, he alienated many of his listeners he usually attracted. Oh, the story of an artist's life. Yet in transcending boundaries, he alienated many of his listeners. All the people who go, oh yeah, I love that band, but I only liked them at the beginning, and then they did something else. All the people who go, I hate that band, and then they change and they think they're wonderful. All the people who worshipped someone like Tom Waits until he decided to do something different, and then hated him, and then worshipped the new Tom Waits, and then he did something different, so they hated him. You see, David Bowie, another person. I'm old enough to remember people go, oh, the new Bowie is really disappointing. Tin Machine's really disappointing. Just as some people would have said Ziggy Stardust was disappointing, and so on and so on. The role of the artist is always, at some level, to be listening to her or his need, their intuition. I know funding bodies and governments and marketers say, find something that sells and sell it, but that's not what we do art for. We do art for the sake of communicating, making community, finding our people, saying things that people need to have said, so that somebody goes, yes, that's my story you're telling, or yes, that talks to me, or yes, that challenges me, or yes, you've allowed me to laugh and cry with laughter in a way that nobody else ever has. It comes from individual or collective genius, from finding a passion and following it, not from saying, what does the audience want, and therefore giving it to them. Now, that's probably unpopular. I'm sure as artists, we're all meant to be sitting there saying, oh, I'll only ever do what the audience wants. I'll only ever do what the government wants, whatever. But that's not what the role of the artist is. The role of the artist is to sit between being a servant of the audience and ignoring the audience. I don't necessarily think the role of the artist is usefully to say, I don't give a damn about the audience, I'm just going to do my thing. That smacks a little bit too much like narcissism to me. But I certainly don't think it's the role of the artist to say, oh, well, I've done something that's popular, I'll just keep doing it because that way I make more money. The role of the artist is to listen to the voice of vision and to find a way of communicating that vision to those with whom that artist chooses or needs to communicate. Duke Ellington, in transcending boundaries, in refusing to be limited by either boundaries of art form, such as jazz or classical or big band or orchestral, in transcending those boundaries, in transcending boundaries, I would suggest, of race and class, I'm guessing, if that's what the book's talking about, in transcending the boundaries of what people expect from him, he alienated what some of his listeners wanted, and he became the genius we know him to be. So if you're an artist, listen to the voice and be brave. I mentor artists. If you'd like me to mentor you, you get in touch. We need great artists in a time of imaginative collapse. Have an amazing day. Such an amazing day. Be in touch if there's anything I can do for you. Bye.